Hi everyone, and happy Video Monday. Teshia here. For this week's video, I want to answer a question that I received. And the question was this. I have gained weight on raw till 4. How do I get back to normal? So for all of those who are watching this who don't know what that is, it's basically another one of these fad diets that's become very popular since YouTube has become popular. And basically what raw till 4 is a form of a variation of a raw vegan diet where you are simply eating raw vegan until 4 p.m. every day. So during that window, everything you eat is to be raw, and then you have like a cooked meal at night. Now, to answer your question, why this may have happened for you, people gain or lose weight on all kinds of diets. It really comes down to finding the one that is right for you, and generally anything that is too extreme backfires in one way or another. So the thing with approaching our diet is that we really need to find something that works for us and that works for us long term, for life, something that is sustainable, because we don't want to be completely preoccupied by our food and our diets at all times of the day. That's not really living. So when it comes to this raw till 4 thing, my experience with working with clients who have also had your experience where they've actually gained weight following this particular diet, my experience is what happens seems to be that people go, okay, well, up until 4 p.m., I can eat whatever I want as long as it's raw. And this happens with other forms of diets too. I can eat whatever I want as long as it's low carb. I can eat whatever I want as long as it's low fat. It doesn't really work like that. I don't believe that calories in, calories out is completely black and white. However, if you are taking in a lot more food than what your body really needs, you will gain weight. So it's good not to apply these specific rules. I really personally prefer that you learn, and it takes a bit of work, but you learn to tune in to your own natural hunger cues. And sometimes there's specific foods like processed foods or caffeine sometimes for some people, which can kind of make those cues more difficult to hear or to really feel. So these are the things that I approach with people in my sessions. But in general, I would ask you, Darlin, the girl who wrote me this question, to really take a look at what you were doing. Were you kind of following that kind of a mentality where you just ate as many apples and bananas and papayas and nuts, and as long as it was raw? If you were doing something like that and just following that as a guideline, that may have been part of the problem. I also personally find that not everyone does well with a high fruit diet, and a lot of people go raw or they go vegan and they eat tons of fruit. If you are vegetarian or you are vegan, in my opinion, the biggest part of your diet should be vegetables. And instead we replace the gaps usually with a lot of fruit, dried fruit smoothies, fruit ice creams, and all this kind of stuff. So it's not that fruit is bad. Fruit is wonderful. It's really high in vitamin C and tons of other minerals and vitamins, but again, balance is key. So you asked how to get back to normal. So this didn't work for you. No problem. You tried it. Sometimes the best way to know what does work for you is by discovering what doesn't work for you. So this is part of the journey. You're on a journey. You're learning. It's all good. Don't beat yourself up over it. And now let's move ahead. So how to get back to normal? I would first suggest that you establish a 3-meal per day kind of a plan. A lot of the times with these raw till 4 diets or the banana freely diet and all this stuff, there are sometimes people are eating all day long, and I think it's really important for the body to have gaps in between each meal where digestion rests a little bit and you're able to tap into your own energy stores, for example. So I would suggest, if you're not doing it already, that you go back to 3 meals a day. One thing that I really like is something that I personally call and suggest to my clients, is that you have as your first meal of the day what I call the Love Thyself smoothie. So it's a smoothie that has everything in it that you have established that your body really needs or thrives on. So, for example, when I do this, I make sure that I have lots of greens in there. I make sure I have lots of energy or blood sugar stabilizing healthy fats and fiber, which I know is important for me. I usually add cacao nibs to my smoothies because they make me happy. I love chocolate. I always add, for example, a few specific supplements like an omega-3 supplement, as well as sometimes some bee pollen or different superfoods that I find are really helpful for me in terms of hormonal balance and vitamin mineral balance. So by drinking this smoothie, you kind of know that you're starting your day off right for your body, if the smoothie thing works for you. Otherwise, you could supplement that with something else. But I would go back to a 3 meal a day approach. Now, raw food is so good for you, and raw food has more vitamins and minerals generally than cooked food does. So I wouldn't say stop eating raw. I would just say don't set up any firm rules for yourself, because this just tends to promote or encourage disordered kind of eating patterns. So instead, maybe, make sure you have some raw food at every meal. So if you're having a smoothie, obviously you're going to have maybe some fruit and some greens and stuff in there. At lunch, you might have some salad. At dinner, maybe some raw veggies on the side of your cooked veggies or whatever. So I would say a good thing to do is have some raw food, at every meal. If some days it doesn't work out like that, it's all good. But I think that's a good overall approach. Include a salad every single day. That's another thing that's really good for anybody to do. So have breakfast. I really like having the midday meal be a salad, or the evening meal. So I would suggest, in terms of just encouraging a little bit more balance for yourself, go back to having at least lunch or dinner be a big healthy salad with, lots of vegetables for your complex carbohydrates, and some healthy fats and proteins in there from, maybe it's beans for you, or nuts, seeds, whatever it is that you like. Also, if you were on raw till 4 and you were eating tons and tons of fruit, start to get some more of those healthy fats, proteins back in there. So just to give you a day's example, it might be a morning smoothie, lots of greens, some plant-based protein, a tablespoon of coconut oil, and a little tiny bit of, blueberries, like quarter cup of blueberries or something. And then at lunch, maybe you'll have a big salad with tons and tons of vegetables, all your favorites, and a couple tablespoons of nuts and seeds, and maybe a quarter cup of like chickpeas or black beans or something like that. And then at dinner, maybe you make a stir fry cooked with a little bit of coconut oil, and if you're eating fish, or if you do like free range chicken or whatever, you could add some of that. Otherwise, you could pick a different nut seed, a different bean, whatever it may be. But just try to get a little bit more balance of proteins, fats, carbs. Have them at each meal. You need all of them. That's a really easy way. If you feel like you've gone way off track, just get back to 3 meals a day. Try to get regular meal times in place, and then just balance out the proteins, fats, carbs at every single meal. Don't need to go completely off raw food. Raw food is, again, great. Just balance it out a little. Get rid of the hard, steadfast rules. Really focus on whole foods. Just stay away from the processed foods. If you're going to have one rule, guys, just have it be that. Go on a processed food-free diet. You cannot do any harm by doing that. And yeah. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you have any further questions, please write them below. send me a message through Facebook if you like. My Facebook page is Teshia Mahar and the Home of Living Live, or you can visit my website www.teshiamahar.com and send me a message there as well. As always, I am available for consultations. I meet people in person, but also on Skype I do them. So if you are in need of a little bit more help with your diet, with your hormones, with a particular health issue, please reach out to me. I love working with you guys. Have an awesome Monday, everyone, and have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.